We all like to make impulse purchases from time to time, and I don't think PlanetSide 2 is an exception to that. PlanetSide 2 offers a plethora of ways to upgrade your character, and sometimes these upgrades can be expensive, and we just go send it and see what happens. But despite that, it's normally a good idea to double check exactly what you're spending those hard-earned certs on. Little Billy here, well, he could have definitely used some financial guidance. G'day there once again, viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today we are once again returning to the Time to Gear Up series. Now, I'm going to take a guess and say there's a few of you who are being exposed to this cesspool of a series for the first time here today. Firstly, welcome to my slow but sure demise into insanity. It's great to have you along for the ride. But this here is the series where you guys get to get those creative juices flowing to suggest a loadout for me to use in-game. Whether it be as stupid as going to the beach as a ginger with no sunscreen to see how much you can quote-unquote tan, and no, I swear I'm not drawing that analogy from IRL experience, what do you mean? Or so effective to the point where the only stat the loadout cares about is accusations per minute. The loadout suggested in the comment section down below with the most upvotes will be selected for the next episode. So make sure to have your say, whether it be with a loadout suggestion or with a vote in favor of a loadout you want to see me use. Now, looking towards today's loadout, look, despite your guys' best efforts, the last couple of loadouts that we've had on the series have had some coherent themes behind them that actually produce half-decent results. But this episode's loadout that comes from Jody Palo, it has a theme, yes. It's just a shame that the main theme here is something along the lines of mistakes, or disappointment, or absent of any kind of father figure guidance. Too much? My apologies. It's a VS Heavy Assault loadout called The Mistaken Meta, a title that is very fitting, and our character here known as Billy just... look, he needs some guidance in his life, okay? That is all. Jody made the following opening remark here for this loadout, stating, Billy has watched a few PlanetSide montages and wants to make one of his own. Too bad he didn't pay attention to what loadouts they were using. So yeah, my man just needs a helping hand. Maybe if he subscribed to the channel, he wouldn't be having this identity crisis of a loadout to deal with. But anyway, let's go into the build and see just how confused you can possibly be while playing this game. Kicking things off here is the Flare VE6, which I have to admit is an LMG that I have very much enjoyed returning to on multiple occasions over the years. This may very well be my inner new conglomerate talking, but the heavier hitting rounds, the smooth recoil pattern, the Flare is like the smooth jazz of the Vanu Sovereignty LMG arsenal. A little outdated, maybe even underappreciated by today's standards, but you always look back on it with a dumb grin as it represents the fun, more exploratory side of your life. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed by now, we are running the HSNV scope because Billy here saw it in a montage from 6 years ago. No, your monitor isn't busted, this video is just being filmed in monochrome graphic settings. I'll admit though, there was a problem with this scope. I felt a bit like a Skyrim guard every time an infiltrator cloaked while I was using the scope. You know, I'd be shooting at them, I'd lose track at them immediately as soon as they cloaked, and I would just sort of pull the must have been the wind line and continue on with my, menial farming. Speaking of farming, Jody didn't exactly specify these attachments, but I did also decide to take the flash suppressor, the extended magazines, and the soft point ammunition. I felt like it was relatively fitting for the character because clearly Mr. Billy here only cares about getting that sweet YouTube contract via a dank montage. And the more you can shoot before you need to reload, well, the more likely you are to clap those hordes of TR and NC cheeks. So yeah, I think it's a fair addition. Secondary wise, and this is where things start to derail a bit here, we have a Blackhand. The logic behind this choice, I hear you asking? Well, I think Billy said to himself, "Ooh, a commissioner with a scope, this must be really good." And sure, it's a cool weapon, but god damn it, the term less is more really comes to mind here because this thing, in comparison to the commissioner in any frontline role, just feels unnecessary, clumsy. It feels like it's the Chad in the high school locker room flexing those still developing muscles to assert dominance over his lesser peers while he's still developing himself. It feels like it's overcompensating, especially on a heavy assault build like this. In the launcher slot, we have the Annihilator, which apparently Billy thought was a Decimator. Look, I can't exactly talk shit here. We've all misclicked and bought the wrong item from time to time. If I say golden laser sight, some of you will know exactly what I mean by that. Leave a comment if you do. But little old Billy here, to his credit, didn't misclick everything. We have an Adrenaline Shield equipped, which, was it a happy accident? Or light at the end of the tunnel that Billy has some means to an end? Who knows? But all I know is that from my perspective, I'm glad there was at least one saving grace on this loadout in the form of the adrenaline shield. As for our suits, son of a bitch, there is the ammo belt. After we explicitly said that the ammo belt's newfound benefits are few and far between on the heavy assault in multiple videos, mind you, here we are again. Especially with an LMG with this much bloody ammo on it. But Billy is in the mindset that less reload time equals a higher KPM, obviously. And hey, that's logic I can't argue with. Unfortunately, Billy returns to his nature of impulse buying and misclicking with the rest of the loadout. Utility-wise, we've got bloody restoration kits on board because Billy simply thought they were med kits, and our implant choices of Assassin and Cat-like were simple mix-ups with the likes of Assimilate and Athlete. It hurts my non-existent ginger soul, but here we are. Let me put it this way, I don't think I'll ever go to a casino with Billy. I don't even have a house to mortgage yet, but I'm sure I need to take out a second mortgage in preparation if I ever go with someone with such bad spending habits. So there's the loadout from top to bottom, and under the proviso that you too, for some strange reason that I'll never understand, want to roleplay as a gimped version of anything resembling cohesive, then you too can run this loadout for anywhere between 3,880 certs all the way up to 7,510 certs. Once again, not exactly sure why you would, but to each their own. I'm sure running this kind of thing is a kink for someone. I ain't here to judge. Actually, you know what? No, I am here to judge. This loadout's a hot mess. And look, the last couple of builds that we've run, sure, they haven't been the most uniform loadouts we've ever seen, but this shit, it feels legit like the loadout was arguing against itself the whole way through the play session. It felt like the loadout had a severe case of bipolar disorder with about 10 different personalities trying to communicate with it. In saying that though, credit where it's due, as much as this is the misplaced meta build, the flare felt like amazing fun to play with again. I'm willing to admit that this is not a meta weapon, and it won't ever be in the grand scheme of things in its current state, but there were times when I'd get some almost suspicious looking headshot chains that made up for the experience here. But I know that there is going to be at least one person in the comment section down below who is going to be like, but this is my build, what's so wrong with it? And to you, my friend, please. It's not weak to speak. The community can help you find inner peace via your loadouts again. I promise we can help you. You will not be judged. But the thing that got under my skin particularly was the resto kits. The mother-sodding resto kits. Any of you ever have those moments where you're traveling on a dual carriageway road and you're stuck behind a bus in the slow lane, but you have too much traffic overtaking you to get out from behind him? That's how this felt. I would get into a gunfight, lose some health, but come out alive, pop a resto kit, and then, well, it depended on what took the mood at the time. You know, complete some home DIY, binge a new Netflix show, contemplate the meaning of life. Didn't matter regardless, because the resto kit would still be healing my impatient ass when I got back while my teammates ran past me, medkits in hand, smiling and grinning their way into battle. The resto kit on the heavy assault is basically you telling yourself, go touch some grass for a while. This will be done in a bit. In fact, no, it felt like I was downloading my HP on 2002 dial-up internet, yelling at my mum and dad to get off the damn phone to keep that paltry 100 kilobits per second download speed going. I felt legitimately limited at times when it came to combat effectiveness, which explains why I'm playing a lot more passively in this video than I normally do. I mean, I looked back on the footage and I thought, damn, I'm playing like a Modern Warfare 2 camper with a claymore behind me. I was playing hella passive in this video, so apologies for that, guys. Hell, much like the last episode, every time I faced a max suit, I would legitimately wander up to him, singing a happy tune as I dreamed of turning his 750 nanites into some pocket money for my next implant loot box, only to pull the trigger and have a wet fart emerge from the barrel. Many a sad moment was had thanks to the Annihilator, it has to be said, even though I copped a couple of, fun little anti-aircraft kills with this thing. The Assassin implant really pissed me off though with this build though. It was like, yes. Thank you, game, for telling me that's an enemy. The blue and yellow dude charging me down with that crazed look in his eye while praising some sort of strange shotgun deity was a real grey area for me when it came to friend or foe. It almost felt as though the game was kind of rubbing it in, especially if I shot at someone, didn't kill them, and they came back for round 2 a few seconds later. It's like the game was saying, hey you, shitlord. Here's the dude you couldn't kill before. Go on, get it over with. Oh, you can't? Oh, poor baby. He'll be back, don't worry. Assassin was basically a visual confirmation for me that, I wasn't TKing people, and wait a second, is this some commentary on my NC tendencies? God damn. Regardless, as always with this series, guys, I found a way to have some fun with the loadout. The loadout is far from effective, and most certainly will not be making a return to my normal loadout rotation like some previous ones had. But there were moments of pure insanity. It's just clearly obvious that I could have done everything I did do here and more with a better kit. That was kind of the point though, so here we are. But guys, with all that said, that's going to bring today's video to a close. If you guys enjoyed this latest episode of the Time to Gear Up series, make sure you backhand the like button. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. If you're new here, well, then consider backing the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with whenever we release a new video and or a new live stream. Looking forward to seeing your loadout suggestions down below as well, guys. And as always, all of my social media links, including Discord and Twitter, can be found down below for you guys to jump on board as well. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.